Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is a balls deep of Astebreed? Astebreed? I don't know how you say this. This is a shmup for PC, available on, I believe, Steam. And a couple interesting things about this. I've had this a while and I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I keep forgetting to do it. It's an interesting game, but I can't play it in full screen. When I put it to full screen, it doubles the frame rate, and the frame rate makes everything go fucked up. So just touching up on the D-pad makes it go like a million inputs. And then when you play the game, everything is faster than it's meant to be. It's a million light speed seconds of nonsense, and it's completely broken. And I mentioned it the other day in a stream, and somebody mentioned that that's generally what happens when a game has its animations tied to frame rate. And for some reason, when I put this game on its best settings, because my PC can run it, it runs it at 300 frames a second, and the entire thing is 3 times too fast than it should be. So it's completely unplayable. So all I've done is I've got it in window mode, even though it fucks up the screen, but you can't see that, and it should be okay. I wanted to do Marlow Briggs, or Braggs, or whatever it's called, and the Death Mask Divine, or whatever it is, but it keeps crashing, and I got so fucked off with it, I just deleted it and got rid of it. And it's one of the things why I don't like PC games, guys, because I don't know what to do when they go wrong. My machine can play that game. I played it in 1920 by 1080 at 144 frames, and it was going fucking fine for about 30 minutes, and then it just crashed, and then every single time I tried afterwards it kept crashing. And I don't know if it's a patch, I don't know if it's the settings on my machine, I don't know if it's the drivers, I don't know what it is, and I searched on forums and all I found was a bunch of fucking Russian stuff, and let's play this instead. So let's press the select button. So this is a shmup, but it's a shmup with a difference. It's a shmup with some really interesting stuff. Let's do the tutorial, because I can't really remember what it is. I don't know if we can also do the prologue. I have an issue with this because it talks in Japanese at you, and it wants you to read a bunch of shit, which is kind of annoying. But we'll go with it. So the loosest shot. So let's get started by training around the suit. They are a product of the loosest system. Astebreed is not equipped with long range, so loosest is utilized for attacking targets from a distance. Couldn't have fucking translated this, could you? Tap one of the 2 loosest buttons to perform a shot. There are 2 types of loosest shot: scatter shot and focus shot. Scatter shot damages enemy in a wide area. Focus shot concentrates the situation. Concentrate the right type for situation is an important skill. Okay. You can destroy purple bullets fired by that. Normal shots cannot be destroyed and any other attack, so pay attention. So this is me playing now. I'm controlling a super cool looking robot, and I'm still quite ill, so if I cough I apologise. So that's the scatter shot. You know what? I don't know how to do the focus shot. What button is it? Interesting. Do I tap it? No. When I hold it, it does like this weird lock-on thing. How the fuck do I do the focus shot? Is it that? It can't be that. It didn't look like that in the menu. So there's only so many buttons on a fucking controller. How can I not do this? I don't know. I can't do the focus beam. I can only do the splash one. So anyway. Homing attack. Hold down the other button, and enemies enter. Release the button will launch a homing attack on targeted enemies. This makes sense. Just like the normal shot, the homing shot is split into 2 types. Directional and scatter. Yeah, scatter and spherical. Using the focus shot will create a conical lock-on. A conical lock-on zone, sorry. Normally it will tap. Look at the fucking speed of this, like. So, when you hold A on this controller, it does this. You'll notice there's those little ticks around the spheres. And then you release and it does the shot. This is the directional one. And the directional one can be aimed depending on where you hold the button when you do it. A little bit like Silent Bomber if you've ever played that. Which seems okay. Sphere one is limited, but it's easy. This one is much more skill intensive. And it's got much better range, but it's kind of awkward to do. It'd be better if you could use the right analog stick to aim it, because then you wouldn't be messing around with the left analog so much, but it seems okay. So there's the different shots. You can also press, I think. Oh no, it doesn't let you do it here. You can use your sword in the main game. Here we go. Loosest lock on gauge, whatever. Do you see how the gauge increases the longer you lock on? The gauge represents how many loosest you can send to an attack. Okay. Well, notice how he's got his sword. The higher the gauge, the more Lucis hit. This reduces the numbers usable for normal shots. Watch your gauge carefully. So it's a balancing act between the lock-on and the normal shot. Scatter shot button increases at a slower rate due to its wide. Focus shot increases at a faster rate due to its smaller range. It's important to use the right situation stuff. Okay. I can't skip this dialogue, by the way. It goes at its own fucking speed, which is sometimes too fast to read. I do like it how it puts them out there and they just kind of wreck people. It's interesting. That one's much faster. Oh, interesting. There's only so many it can do, eh? But this shmup does some interesting things. Here's the blade. It has melee attacks, which I like in shmups. It is extremely powerful but only effective at close range. The blade can also destroy two different types. Both purple and yellow bullets can be destroyed. Cannot destroy red. So it's a good defensive tool as well. Defensive and offensive. Oh wow, you can tap it. But it's got long recovery on it, so be careful. Look at that. Your suit is invincible during the dash, but be careful of stopping in front of incoming fire. Blade attacks can be used in conjunction with shots. Oh wow, look at that. So, blade is X, and if you hold it, I think. Oh, okay. Oh, that's ridiculous. If you hold it and you press directions, this is how he moves. See, I wasn't doing that when I played this game. I was doing the lock-on, and then I was pressing the sword, and it was going to where the lock was, which was quite interesting. But it's a cool idea. It gives you a dodge, effectively. A dodge that makes you invincible, sorry. Which is very powerful in a shmup. EX attack training. The yellow gauge? You can unleash a special attack. Like, look how long it takes to say that one, but the next one's like... Look at that! Bloody hell. Look at that. That looks great. Finally, by pressing the X button with a single... This is harder to pull off, but your most powerful attack. Like, I didn't even get a chance to fucking read that. It's ridiculous. Is there no retard speed for this text? Just because Japanese, you can say like 1,000,000 words in a second. So if you destroy their attacks, you get stuff back. Didn't tell me what button it was to do it though, did it? Jesus. Yeah, I'm not really understanding that because the game's tutorial is... It explains what it is and then it doesn't tell you what fucking button it is. Which is interesting, but whatever. Let's practice using the shield next. Your suit's shield damage decreases as you take damage from enemy attacks. Shield guard will recover gradually after a few seconds. So this is really interesting. This is a shmup where you do not die in one bullet. So it's a lot more flexible than a lot of shmups are, which means it's better for newer players or people that are not familiar with the genre because it's much more forgiving. Because I think that that is a really cool idea and I wish there would be more games that would elaborate on it. But there's a couple of things that I don't like. So, You notice how the bullets at this moment in time, they pop quite well, don't they? You can see where they are, you can see where they are in relation to you. If you look on my character, I'm a big character, but my hitbox is only that circle that's at the centre of my core when I move. Can you see it? It's kind of red. That's what the bullets have to touch to damage me. So it's quite flexible. The bullets themselves look okay at this moment in time, but this is a shmup that does a cardinal sin of shoot-em-ups, I believe, which is some of the bullets don't pop, and it gives it this ambiguity where you're not quite sure where the bullet is exactly in relation to where you are, and it makes dodging some things very difficult. And I don't know if that's because they want you to do stuff like the chop, or do the special to erase bullets, or do that crazy like blade dash thing to kind of get... Like, look at that. You can just completely go through the bullets, which is kind of nuts. And maybe it's because it's designed around that, which I don't know, because I've never really played this game properly. I just kind of tested to make sure it worked. Maybe that's how you play. It's about using iframes, but you'll notice, like, certain... Oh, red ones can't be shot, can they? A lot of the bullets are destructible, the yellow ones don't seem to be. But that to me is an issue. Like, these yellow ones, I don't think they pop very well at all. And if you play a lot of different shooting games, you'll understand what I mean by pop. When you can't see them against the background as well as you could, so for instance, if they had an outline, which would help them really strike that visual edge, it'd be much easier to judge the distances. And then a second thing that I don't really much like about this is there doesn't seem to be a way to move much slower. Like, that's your normal speed. That's your focus speed, which is a lot better when you're doing the lock stuff, and that's as slow as you can get to navigate the bullets, but I generally like it to be a little slower, personally. But then again, maybe this is not a game about dodging really dense patterns with, you know, micro movements, because once again, I don't really know. Let's see what the score's about. Next we will cover the basics of high scores. So if you suck, you don't have to feel disheartened. Please play the game. Dead damage to enemies. Dead damage? Destroy enemies attacks. Oh god, there's going to be boss milking. That's not good. This is the tension rate, okay. That's the multiplier. Either shot or home attack will increase tension rate. And then do you get your tension to max and then you use the sword? Yeah, look, it acts as a score multiplier for blade and EX moves. So the general principle here is to build tension with your shot and your lock on, and then cash it in with sword. And you know that there'll be certain enemies that you want to like just keep them alive so you can keep hitting their attacks to build crazy points, especially bosses that have dense patterns. I'm not too bothered about that though. Like if you've ever played Muchi Muchi Pork by Cave, that's one of the Ryzen style games, I think, which means that it's got a lot of the kind of boss milking and different types of bullets, even though it's very, very Cave-esque, unlike something like Pink Sweets, which is much more of that genre, just like Ibarra, which I never liked those shmups because of the bullet thing and the fact that the scoring in them is such a particular thing, and it's a lot about death manipulation. Right, to increase scores using blade and EX attacks, tension rate multiplies your score. Destroying enemies with blade and EX attacks decreases tension. Destroying enemies with... Ah, there you go. So it's a balancing act. Build up the tension, use it to cash in, build it up, cash in, build it up, cash in. The shield gauge at maximum or during recovery doubles the tension rate bonus. So you want to do it not taking any damage or recovering from damage. So it is very flexible, it seems. If you look at the shot, there's my tension gauges up, and then we do that and we get mad points. So we'll do this. Tension's going through the roof. Oh, there it is, I'm sorry. If you tap B, you get the focus shot. If you tap A, you get the scatter shot. And if you hold either of them, you get the derivative lock-on from that. That's quite simple, I just didn't realise that that's what those buttons did. So we've now got like a times 16 tension bonus, and then you go bum 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 bum, and it just sinks to times 6 and so on and so forth. So I wonder if it's going to be more about figuring out which enemy gives you the best score, so that you get your score up on all the scrubby enemies, all the popcorn enemies, and then you cash it in on the enemies that count, on the enemies that give you the real points. It'd be interesting to see high level play this, it probably looks really fun. Boss battle scoring. Is this going to tell us about boss milking? There we go. Deal damage to boss. Defeat boss within the time limit. Interesting. Oh, wow, look at that. So they've got time limits to disincentivize people from milking the bosses. Interesting. That's really simple for bosses then. Kill them quick. And preferably do it with the blade. Or your EX. This is your time limit. Once the time limit reaches 0, you cannot increase your score. Beyond that... Look at that! How the fuck you read that, dude? What is this, like a spritzer thing? If you're aiming for a high score, it's important to defeat them as quickly as possible. Get ready. So... Shoot, 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 get my bonus up. Shoot, 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 and he's dead. And a boom! How much did that give me? I can't even tell. Anyhow. Pretty cool game, right? Let's show you how the game looks then. So there's the tutorials. See what the prologue's all about. I hope it's not a cutscene. I would like it to be gameplay. That would be wonderful. Oh, here we go. Very anime right now. It's all kicking off. There's not enough character action games with robots, dude. I really like robots. Oh, whoa, that looks cool as shit, that beam. Can I do some swordy stuff? Hey. So this game changes perspective a lot, and it's kind of cool. Oh, I don't have lock on, I don't think. Yeah, I've only got the normal shot. Whoa. Damn. Going crazy. It wants me to use the blades. I can't hit anything. Ah! Oh, it's giving you a tutorial while you play. Yeah, you do not have the homing shot, and the homing shot's really good, if you're wondering. But look how it changes perspective all the time. It's really dynamic. I think this is something, once again, that not enough shmups explore, the idea of dynamic shifting. Because you've got games like, oh, here we go, we've got some bullets. Like Sin and Punishment, that's very Gallagher-esque, isn't it? Take my sword. I love the alternative option to be completely melee focused. It's kind of cool. You don't get any points because you need to build your points up. They're the bullets that I meant, guys, when I said that I think that there's... Wow, this is actually pretty tough. Did you see how you just can't really judge where they are? There's a purple version of it as well, and it might as well just be the background. It's really difficult to dodge. Nearly dying on the prologue, beast. But if you've played something like Sin and Punishment, it's the perspective is like this, and you're using the controls in a similar vein to something like Panzer, but it's not on rails. Oh wow, there's straight up anime cutscenes. Cool. As he discovers Jehuti and starts kicking ass. And Treasure like to change perspectives quite a lot. If you've ever played a game I think called Red Star on the PS2, that experimented quite a lot with different shmup elements and different perspectives, but you just don't see it enough because it's a genre that got left behind. And it's sad that it got left behind because it's pure gameplay and they're really fun. But the problem is, they're very difficult and they're very skill dependent. The thing that makes them great is the thing that makes them inaccessible for a lot of people. Which is why I loved the new versions of the cave games, where they allowed people to have these optional modes, these novice modes, where they could get a feeling for the game without being completely destroyed every 10 seconds. And then once you got better, you could choose to, like, look at this, shit's getting crazy. Can't use my sword. No dash at the minute? Yeah, I've got no dash now. I've got lock on, but I don't have dash, it seems. I've got standard sword, which is cool. Like, look at those bullets there. You know when all the gunshots and everything and the enemies are flying around? How can you keep track of those bullets? Because they don't pop. This is cool. There's story and gameplay. I love this kind of pacing, but I don't think the main game will be like this at all. But then again, I don't know, because I'm not very good at this game. Here's some credits for you, some story. But those cave games, they had novice modes where you had auto bomb, so instead of taking a hit you would bomb, so every life you got at least like 4 hits, which would keep you alive much longer, and the patterns were generally more generous, and it really allowed people to have fun with the games. But they're definitely a very specific thing, and that's one of the reasons why I would like them to be incorporated into games like you see with games like Nier, like you see with games like Kingdom Hearts. It's such a niche genre in a lot of ways that it's hard for a lot of people who don't understand it to appreciate it. So if you put it with another kind of game, where it's kind of a side distraction, then it can be really, really good, and there's so much that can be done with it with modern technology and new creative thinking. So I think it's something that I would love to see elaborations of. Right, let's do the main game now anyhow. That was the prologue. And we're going to do, and I'll show you some options, so you can go from easy, normal, you must have to unlock the harder ones if there is any. Then you have your neutral lock, you can do front or enemy. Then there's a lock direction. Interesting. And it tells you if you want to have the dialogue on, and the score as well, which is an interesting choice. But let's start. And you'll get an idea of what the game is like. So, Chapter 1, The Orphans. But it's got a really good aesthetic, and I like the look of it. It's a game that I think looks really nice. And it makes me kind of want to play it. I should have... wow, that looks amazing, dude, when you start like doing that sword move. I didn't mean to do that, but, you know, it looked good. Just lost it. But look at this, like, dynamic changing of perspective. It's only fleeting, and it's transitionary, but it's still cool. And it has that great feeling of, like, you feel like you're doing stuff when you're not. Like, I'm trash at this game, but I feel like I'm a beast because it's a really nice punch to it, and it's a really nice feeling of power. Well, but the part where it's a shmup when it comes to dodging the bullets, I don't get it too much. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time dodging in this. I feel like aggressive movement... oh god, is this a boss? There we go. Oh my god. There we go, we got some bullets. That's the... look at that. How the fuck do you dodge that shit? Other than hoping for the best. Like, that's the kind of pattern that I really like to dodge in a shmup, but in this, I can't see it. It's really fast moving, and it's very difficult to get an assessment of where exactly it is. This reminds me of Death Smiles when it goes to this kind of perspective. But do you see what I mean? Like, can you imagine trying to no damage this shit? I can't see those red bullets at all. They're awful. These ones, my favourite, because they're the kind of bullets that I can understand. We get him? That was lucky. I nearly died. But did you see? It's not easy, folks, and it's chaotic, it's hectic. There's all this wonderful graph and things, and showing me that I don't know how to play this game. You've got a story, it looks fine, it runs fine on my shitty PC that can't even run Milo Briggs for whatever reason. And here we are, Chapter 2. Already kicking off. But, oh, here we go, there's another fella. Look at that guy. My goodness, what is he doing? What is he doing? This is weird because I'm pressing the wrong button to do things because I'm wanting to do certain things and I'm not really getting them. But it's making me look better than I am because I'm doing things that are actually working out quite well for me. Shit's crazy. Oh wow. Crazy manatee in space. But it kind of gives me vibes of stuff like... remember, like, oh wow, are we crashing? No, we just had a massive hitch. Oh, we got Reapers coming in. Oh my god! Do the sword dash or something. But it looks very visually pleasing. It's got a really nice tactile feel to everything you're doing. It's a little crazy and chaotic, and I don't feel like I'm in control at all because I don't know. Oh, like look at those bullets, dudes. This is not good shmup right here. This is use iframes or something because that does not look like visually. You can visually dodge that shit. it's too fast and it's too soft. Is like, look at those ones. What the fuck, man? Like that? No, just no. Video game. This will be where we die because I am pressing all the wrong buttons here. Yes, look at that critical warning. Cool perspective though, an interesting boss. It's all about iframes, it seems like, because you can't see that shit to dodge it correctly. Unless you're Usemi. Good old SWY. Yeah, like look at that, absolutely nuts. Escalated very quickly, didn't it? In true shmup fashion. And you can continue if you want to, because there is checkpoints where you can reset the game and you can do the proper shmup play. But that is Astebreed or Asterbreed or Astebreed or whatever. There's a lot here to like. It's got a lot of things going for it, but there are a few things that really rub me the wrong way, and that's just at a fundamental level from the kind of shoot-em-ups I enjoy. You might love it. From what I saw, it was on sale a lot, this, which is when I picked it up, so it's pretty affordable, and there's a lot of fun to be had here, but bear in mind, it will come with tooth and claw. This will not be an easy game, but if you're going to put the time in, and you want something to dedicate yourself to, there are hundreds of thousands of hours to be put into these games before you get anywhere near as good as you want to get, and at a time where gameplay is rare, these games are really king, so if you've never tried one, please check them out. They're very underappreciated. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.